I think we are live. All right, we're live. You guys both muted? Yeah,
Yeah,
all good.
all good.
Thunder beat the Pistons 113 to 107.
Yeah, man. This was a pretty interesting, or this was a weird game, to be honest. The way the
Entertaining.
halftime went, yeah, entertaining, but the halftime and along with kind of the Pistons antics, I felt like there was going to be a lot of technicals in this one, just the way they play. And most teams get annoyed with Shea's shot making, so I kind of suspected there'd be some technicals just based on them getting annoyed with that, and just the way we play is kind of aggravating to other teams. Like we get certain types of calls, and that's just kind of how it goes for us. And they're a younger team and less experienced, and Shea's just gonna rip them apart, and that's pretty much what he did.
Yeah, not that many free throws either, so there won't be that narrative for this game. But man, Casey Wallace.
Yeah, Casey Wallace filling his role perfectly. You know, we have Dub, Chet, Dort went out. We'd have no Wiggins. It was awesome of Casey Wallace to, you know, continue basically what he's been doing since after All-Star break. Just do it at a larger scale today. Playing defense incredibly, scoring on the offense. How much did he end with? 20? Yeah, I mean,
20 points.
Finishing at the rim incredibly. Just taking leaps all around in his game. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah, I thought Dylan Jones looked pretty good in that first quarter that he got in. He looks a lot lighter, just a lot more agile than what he has previously, which is it's interesting to see.
Yeah, I think that was the development route. Like his handle wasn't there. I think the game prior to this that we won without the starters, the minutes that he played, he was just solid bringing the ball up the court. And that's an extra way to get him being on the court as being a ball handler because he's kind of undersized. And they kind of touted his rebounding, but I haven't seen it be as impressive as what the college stats were. So I'm glad he's kind of just readjusting his game to be more of a guard-oriented player than kind of the role that they kind of initially had him at, which was kind of being like a stretch four. He was just a little too undersized for that.
Yeah. Man, Cade Cunningham's ejection was pretty. That whole sequence was insane. Just all the technicals.
Player of his caliber like that go out, you know, because he basically is the Pistons. He is their offensive engine. So for him to go out, I mean, that's a big loss. You hate to see that from the opposing team, but I mean, he just did not stop. You kind of like Xavier said. I mean, you just kind of saw it coming. So.
Yeah, I already knew this type of thing would be happening with the Pistons. This is just kind of who they are and what their identity is. And when they get frustrated, all their guys just start getting teed up. And I mean, it's tough when you're guarding the other team's best player and he's dropping 40 on your head. And then on the other end, you're getting absolutely, guarded on the perimeter where the only thing you can do is do a couple floaters and that's about it. And that's all we were giving him. And as a player, I would be extremely frustrated with that.
Martin Rodriguez says he likes how the Thunder won with most players of the usual starting five being out. Totally agree. It makes us look dangerous for when they're back, and maybe Hartenstein Wallace come off the bench, run that second unit in a good spot.
Yeah, especially the fact that our defense can sustain itself like this, even with all these big defensive pieces missing, especially Lou Dort going out whenever he did. The defensive stretches that we made at the end of the game, like especially with that hard dunk, to top it off at the end, like just it's very impressive, our defense, to say the least.
We
I'm
got
trying to see.
Ty. Oh, Ty going to
Okay.
join us and talk about the game. Yeah.
Sweet.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Ty?
So, Ty.
What's up, bro?
Are we live yet?
Yeah, we're live. We're live.
How'd you guys feel about the game?
I think it went really good.
You know what's crazy? I said before the game that I think Kaysen was gonna have a solid game today.
You just feel
Yeah,
like
we
he can
needed
do
him
no
to.
wrong lately, huh?
Yeah, I called that. I thought he was gonna do good today. He did. He showed up. He hit that big three.
He started the game really hot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Lou Dort out, he should have a lot more opportunity here for the next couple games to be in the starting lineup, get more major minutes, kind of as the point of attack defender. And then on top of that, he's had a good stretch of 3 or 4 games even going into this one. So he's been impressive on the offensive end. That's kind of where I'm looking at him to take that next leap, especially going into the playoffs. Like if AJ isn't fully healthy by that time, we're going to need Kaysen's ball handling. So I think that's where he's really impressed me, at least.
I'll read y'all some Kaysen Wallen stats right now, real
Bet.
quick. His last 10 games, which is basically post All-Star break, he's averaging 30 minutes, 12 points, almost 50, 40, 90, 39% from three. So 53% from the field, 38% from three, 90% from free throw. Like, this dude is averaging 2 steals in that stretch as well. Like,
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
he literally can do no wrong. He's playing an elite level defensively on the perimeter. He's shooting at a very high clip. He's even finishing at a high clip, as we can see today. Had a few dunks, or he had that one big dunk in the first half. It was pretty nice. But, I mean, literally just cannot do any wrong.
Someone said in the chat, in the Instagram chat, that Lou Dort had plus 27. That was by the Thunder season. That was huge. Like that, he came off the court with that injury. Like he's just been impressive all season long, where he, like, his plus minus is always higher even when he's not having good offensive games. And this was just another one of those nights where he only had 7 points but a plus 27, which is ridiculous.
It's always like that with Dort. His plus minus is always like that when he's on the floor. It's like he'll give you like 5 points, but his plus minus will be crazy still because he's everywhere.
Yeah, he'll be 1 for 7 from three and still make a
That's
defensive
crazy.
impact. So.
How do you guys feel about the refs tonight?
I think Isaiah Joe's shot creation was really good tonight. Those step backs, the one fading into the corner of the court, that was really good. It's exciting to see him do that, really.
He was on the left side corner.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And he had another step back later in the game, but just for him to be able to create his own shot, especially when Shea was getting double teamed or face guard, we really needed someone to get the ball through the hoop, and I think he provided that pretty good.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to shout out was Kenrich Williams. He was just rock solid for us. Like, he's been playing pretty crucial minutes overall. Like, I'm glad he's getting a good chunk of minutes. He's healthy right now. Hopefully he continues to do that. And he's just kind of the perfect 4-man right now. With when Hartenstein's on the court or Chet's on the court, I don't really mind that Kenrich is kind of the go-to 4-man when, obviously we don't have J-Dub on there. So I don't mind him being on the court with J-Dub as well to still have some space creation, because he's not the worst 3-point shooter as well. So, I mean, tonight he was 0 for 4, but he was still like a plus 12. Just great rebounder.
I was about to say
Big rebound.
Yeah, big rebounder, and he's just always in the right spot defensively. He makes a good impact, like transitioning down to the low block. That's kind of where we need the help the most. So I'm glad, he's been playing some really useful minutes.
Yeah.
You can
Martin Rodriguez. Martin Rodriguez brings up a good point. That Caruso had a plus minus of -17.
Mhm.
I think at the end of that game, it was we needed to sub him off, and we did. So that was a good decision. But he missed that lap, and then he got the foul, and we needed to look to him for that veteran presence, and he was playing like a rookie, startled and making mistakes. So don't know how to feel about that, to be honest.
That layup. I think he was indecisive on whether he wanted to use the glass or not. It was just a wedgie, I guess.
Yeah, Caruso also got in that lineup early when Shea went out in the second quarter, and didn't really look good offensively. So that minus 17 isn't entirely on him, but yeah, like Caruso's definitely had some recent stretches where he just makes mistakes, but then he'll go out and make 3 defensive stops in a row. Look absolutely incredible, all defensive first team. So it's definitely iffy with him so far.
I wanna shout out Hartenstein too for getting on the glass and protecting that rim, because how many blocks did he have? He had a couple blocks.
He had 3
of them.
blocks.
Yeah, he had three blocks. He had that one at the end.
Iced the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
You
his
definitely feel his presence down there.
yeah, and he's getting on the glass too. That's another thing about Kenrich's game too. He gets on the glass really well.
Yeah, can he
I
hustle?
feel like everyone kind of gets on the glass. I feel like that's a good priority to have, especially being overall kind of an undersized team. I mean, we had 11 steals as a team and 8 blocks. I mean, there's not many teams out there doing what we're doing on the defensive end. So super impressive. I can't believe Shea just honestly took this game over. Like, I knew he would, but it still impresses me every time. Like, there's no J-Dub, no Chet, and he's like still winning games like this. And then they're saying there's a debate for MVP. It's like, come on.
Like, come on. Yeah, come on. What are we doing?
Jokic has his own right. Like, he's a great basketball player. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on him, but like, bro, yesterday they had a close game to the Lakers G League team. Like, come on, man. Like, it's
And
just
he had
like,
17 free throws that game.
and
Yeah, don't get me started on sad news, bro.
Shea had 48 points with 10 free throws. Like, that's insane.
Mhm.
And half his free throws were techs.
Yeah, or late game fouling.
Yeah.
Yeah, he only had 10 free throws this game with 48 points. I mean, like 2 more points and he would have had another 50 ball, and it's not even Wednesday. So
I think it was a great game to show our perseverance, just sticking with it. Like at the start, I think Shea was forcing a couple shots. Pistons were getting ahead when Shea was out, but we kept going. And then the Pistons, we just got under their skin. They were all mad. And then we saw that in the third quarter when they all got their tags. Cade got ejected. We just stuck with it at that level. And the Pistons were with us. But then as we kept going, they went down onto a lower level. I think that's just them trying to get riled up, fight us, all those tags. But we stayed
I think
strong.
the turning point was on their offensive end. They got like a call against Isaiah Joe where there was a push, and they didn't feel like that was a push. And then there was a couple Hartenstein screens that they were yelling that they were moving screens. And then on the other end, Stewart ended up pushing J Will, and then from there it just escalated more and more. And then right after that, they all got 3 texts in a row due to that. Like, frustration just kind of built up, and that's where younger teams, like we're the youngest team as well, but you have to have poise in those moments where it's like, okay, cool, we're still in this game. Like, it was a 10-point game at that point. Like, they could have easily came back, kept Cade in the game. There was just no one on the leadership side where it's like anyone on the court, none of them. Even I was surprised with like Dennis Schroeder. He's usually a guy that like tells everyone to go back to the bench, calm down, that type of thing, and it just didn't.
Cade.
Huh?
I'm surprised nobody grabbed Cade.
I'm surprised. It's a very like surprising thing that like they have that in their culture. And that's kind of the thing that they need to fix, is maybe bring in some more veteran presence that can bring that poise. Like I would even think like a guy like Tobias has been in the league for so long. Like, no one just took control of that moment and they kind of just let it boil up. and happen. And I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't like. I thought like even JB Bickerstaff would have jumped up, and like there's usually coaches that jump up off the bench as well and come onto the court and bring their guys back to the other side, and they just let it happen. So
it looked like he was like telling everybody like, let's go, let's go, let's go. But then like they all left and Cade stood there. So that's what surprised me, because he already got one tech. Why not go grab your best player? Especially Schroeder or like Tobias Harris, like the veteran presence. Like you gotta go grab him. Like, I'm happy that I'm not happy. I don't want to say I'm happy he got ejected, but like it was better for us. But like that just surprised me, because I like Cade. I mean, I don't know if you guys like Cade. Cade's a very good player. He's a good player. So like they definitely him. I'm just surprised they didn't grab him. But I wanted to ask you guys. I saw on my phone it said Us's calf got hurt. Was it his calf or was it his ankle?
I heard hamstring, so something with
Nice.
that leg.
Yeah.
I think initial
I don't
report was
remember.
calf, but
Yeah, I thought it was too, the calf. Whenever he
Yeah.
was walking on the court, it looked like it might have been his ankle, but then everybody was saying his calf.
What happened? Like, did he like land wrong or something?
he could have just not been warmed up. You step on the court, you make the first play, and then boom, you catch a cramp type thing. So
Yeah, he could have just had some tightness in there and then tried to cut wrong,
Also,
You
they
can
play
just be
like
really unlucky as well.
Yeah, it's
Right.
just unlucky. He's a guy that gets a lot of soft tissue injuries from what I've noticed. Like even in the G League or when he's with us and he's playing, like it feels like every game he's pulling a calf muscle hamstring.
Yeah, it's very
That's just
unfortunate.
kind of his luck. I don't know what else to kind of attribute it to. Like he just had an unlucky season.
Apparently,
Took-
JB Bickerstaff went on a rant, on a post-game interview rant, and ended up crumbling the paper and storming out of the press conference because he was mad at the refs.
How do you guys feel
Well,
about
There's just no way, right? Like, there's no way they're not going to have an ounce of, like, let's chill out. Like, have some professionalism. They're going to keep going. I guess that's Detroit basketball.
It is Detroit basketball to do all this, but it's like also we've noticed like teams and coaches and players, they kind of all build up in this way during the games against the Thunder because it's just so frustrating when you can't get good looks, and then on the other side, the other team has one guy that's just like obliterating you. Like
Right.
you're in his face and he just plow after like one after another from the mid range, from kind of wherever he wants to be on the court. We've seen it with the Timberwolves where they're super frustrated, calling to the refs like, do something about this. Like it feels like every game there's a complaint about us, and it's kind of the narrative that's building up externally from kind of all the troll meme accounts of Shea's a free throw merchant, and I knew that was a dangerous narrative because once that's pushed, then the rest of the team, it's like, oh, they're also getting free throws that they shouldn't be, when the stats clearly prove
That
we're like middle of the pack or even less than that in terms of
like
as a
bottom
team.
5 almost. Yeah.
Yeah, we've for the most part of the season we've been bottom 5 in overall free throw. Like
pretty sure we have the worst differential too.
Yeah, we have some of the worst differential in the free throw side. So it's like it's tough as a Thunder fan to like see the complaints and then see the actual stats around it.
Man, I fight with everybody. I fight with friends, Instagram comments. It's crazy. It's like,
hey, Ralph Films is spitting right now. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'll pull that up. We got a history of just being hated on. Westbrook, Katie's unreliable, push off PG. Like they just hate us. Like hate us because they ain't us. But
that's what happens when you're the best team. That's another thing about the defense. Adding on to what he was talking about. I mean, they're trying to make that narrative on us, but we're the number one defense for a reason. So we bring intensity. We bring different defenders. We can all switch, and everybody guards with intensity. That just comes with it. And people don't know how to take it, I guess. So they just complain. But I mean, it's good defense. Like if every time somebody challenges a call and they play it in slow motion, it's like it's good defense. It's just like just playing hard. Like what like people just usually cry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to add one more thing. In that second quarter, the Shea, Isaiah Joe, Dort, Kendrick Williams, Jay Will lineup was really, really good. Like, got us back in the game, got us ahead. I think just sitting Hartenstein when he was tired, Caruso, Queso was a bit tired, and these guys just came in and produced. But hopefully Dort's injury is all right because that looked nasty.
Yeah, we definitely need him tomorrow. You guys know any updates of J-Dub for tomorrow?
No, I don't think
He's
either of
he's
them will
out
be
for
there.
he's out for the whole road trip. He
Oh.
didn't join us, so
Yeah, that's what the assumption is.
We'll definitely have Shet tomorrow, though. I think we'll have
yeah,
Shet.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
There's like a rest period for Chet. It's
Yeah.
also a good time to bring up. I don't think we brought, or I didn't get a chance yesterday to bring up the what's going on with this NBA investigation. Is there like legs on this, or has anyone seen anything more?
I haven't
Nothing
seen
more
anything
than
extra. I haven't seen anything extra, but it's pretty ridiculous, and it's starting to look like they have a clear agenda against us, bro. Because there's no way we're investigating one player who's out for legitimate reps, which is Shea. Somebody who's dealing with a nasal fracture who sat out Hartenstein. I think who else sat? J-Dub sat because of a wrist, because his wrist has been bothering him, actually been bothering him. So he sits out for that. Like, we're having people sit for a legitimate reason. And they decide,
wrestling
oh,
back to
they
back.
beat them by 20, so we're going to investigate it.
I think the complaint was more on the Shea end, where he just played a huge game, and then we kind of rested him. And
Yeah.
I think there's rules against resting players. So that's
And if
kind of where
that's
the
the
complaint.
case, if that's the case, let me pull up Jason Tatum's most recent game logs, actually.
There's I'm not going to sit here and
Right, yeah.
it's not just us.
Because
like we can point out.
they need to investigate Jason Tatum. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Tatum's another guy. I'm trying to think. There's other teams where they just randomly will rest guys. Like, there's been plenty of teams that played us that randomly rested their guys like fully healthy throughout the whole. Like, especially you. Go ahead.
Oh, the Rockets did that right before they played the Trailblazers. Actually,
Right. Yeah.
all these teams they just know that they'll lose. They might be one or two players short, so they'll be like, just forfeit the game. But they won't get investigated for that. That's deliberate losing. We won. Like, we beat them with our
Jason
bench.
Tatum played 45 minutes against the Lakers. Next game was against the Jazz. He was completely out. The very next game was against us. He played 41 minutes.
What was the reason why he was out?
He was out because of right knee tendinopathy.
Okay.
As long as you don't put that you're resting your guy and actually put like, oh, he's dealing with tendonitis or whatever you want to label it, like,
Right.
whatever you want to say, like, screw it, But it is what it is.
What are you gonna do when you're the best team? They start making narratives about you.
Yeah, we're definitely not. Ralph Film said, "Investigate LeBum. He sits out all the time." I mean, it's true. And then Luka sits out all the time too, man. That man, he'll have like a huge game, and then against a good team, he's always limping around, and then
they start losing.
Boom, and then as soon as they start losing, boom, he has
my knee hurts.
I think
knee hurts type of injury.
Of a back-to-back, and he played the first one and he sat yesterday.
That's what he was pointing out in the YouTube comments. So, I mean, every team feels like, especially the higher end teams, do this. So, I feel like the whole rest. It's not like we're doing like Spurs type of resting, or there was a season that the Spurs did a lot of rest, and the Clippers. There was one season where the Clippers were just like resting like all the time between Kawhi and PG, and they got like mad amount of fines. But it was like super deliberate, and you could tell like they wouldn't let the guys play specific games. So, and even PG had to come out and say like, I'm fully healthy. I think Zion has said the same thing. He's blatantly said, I'm fully healthy. The Pelicans won't play me back to back. Like, that should be investigated.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then teams always sit out against us too. Also, on top of that, like dudes always sit out against us.
It's the opposite against us versus the Lakers. Everyone wants to play against the Lakers, but they sit out against us because they know they're going to take the L.
Shit is crazy. When we do it, we get investigated. Tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow Giannis and Dame are questionable. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's a good point.
All right. Well, that's probably it for this live. We don't have any more people to join. Thanks for hopping on, Ty. Thanks
Gotcha.
everyone for joining
Yeah.
the live.
Appreciate you, Ty.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Always a pleasure.
Told you guys
Should
always
be
let me.
back. Yeah, we'll
sure.
get you back on the Bucks game, who we play tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be same time.
Sweet, bro. Thanks for joining.
Look out for Giannis and Dame questionable.
Hey, we're gonna quote you if that happens. We'll post a quote
Fact.
based on that.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, bro.
All right.
Have a good
See you
night, bro.
guys.
Peace.